Good morning or evening, everyone. I'm here to go over how exactly to. Oh, sorry. This is Ever Jackson from class 304. We're here to go over how to do a footing takeoff, assembly takeoff for our residential building project. Believe it or not, I went through this whole process before and recorded the entire thing and realized I made a mistake on my takeoff too, so I am going to redo everything. And to your benefit, you get to watch me redo everything too. So, so I guess this is a plus for everyone. All right, let's see how this is done. The professor wanted me to go over this with you guys. So you want to start. I'm going to kind of go a little bit faster and also more condensed since I've already done this once and I got a good idea of what's the most important stuff to mention. So just follow along as best you can. Feel free to pause the video to catch up if necessary. You want to start on activity 3-2. All we're using this is as a basis. We're going to put in our own numbers from our plans. But we're going to follow along with this to set up everything. On the right hand side, you can see me doing this. On the left hand side, here is the estimating software you want to hit. If you don't have one already, use New Estimate, create one, call it Residential Building Plans. It'll be blank. Don't let what I did in my stuff scare you. I went on my own. I went through and like took off a whole bunch of stuff. You don't have to do any of this work here. None of this. All we're focusing on is at the bottom. So this is what I did on my own time, and I just found out in the last recording I made that this was all wrong because I made one simple mistake and I haven't figured out how to edit takeoffs that you've already made. I'm sure there's a way, I just can't figure it out. So instead of wasting time trying to find the answer, I have to do this video, so I'm going to fix it, redo it in real time. So we'll get started. First thing they asked us to do is to hit the item takeoff button. So we're going to go to the takeoff tab at the top. We're going to add in item, and we're going to search up these three items they asked for. So we're going to, go Control F, um, 10 columns. Oop, I can't spell. There you go. Go. Uh, there. All right, next. They want 56 rebar, and we want 40 footing. All right. Got all three down here now. There we go. Oops, oops. Let's delete that last one. Yes, please. All right, cool. All right. Save as assembly. So you're going to highlight all the three things you just added in. Hit the Save as Assembly button at the top. You want to fill in some information here. I'm going to call this one, I guess I should call it the same thing. I'm going to delete it afterwards, the old stuff that I got wrong afterwards. So we'll call it the same thing. Let's see, concrete. Oop, oop. Oh, I spelled it right. Okay, good. Concrete footings. Um, Linear feet. Just following what the book is telling us to do at this point. One time, all that's fine. Then after that, we're done. Okay and close. And oop, not okay. Sorry. Cancel and close. That's what the book tells us to do in the next step here. Um, yeah. Okay. So now when we want to start, we hit the assembly button. We go back and find it. We find it by going to the main, like whatever your title is, should be residential building plans. Just double click on that. It pops open everything you made. Oh, lovely. You get to see the old test I made. You get to see the first one I did that's wrong. And here's the new one right here that I just made. All right. There we go. So there's a bunch of information left in here that I put in that was wrong from before. So disregard this. It'll look a little different for you. So don't worry. I'm going to follow through. We're going to do everything together. In 3-2, at this point, stop. Do not take pass 1 or pass 2 from 3-2. Pass 1 and pass 2 involves things that we don't have to worry about. What we're talking about here are, I forgot why exactly you don't need to follow pass 2 offhand, but I know for a fact you don't want to follow pass 1 because we're looking at column footings at corners. I noticed that when you look at the drawing page they're pulling this stuff from, page 80, let's see if I can find it whenever it wants to load up. Okay, the corners are footings, and that's why they found their columns by taking off this 3 foot thing here. Don't worry about it. There's these like little footing, excuse me. They're actual columns. That's what I'm trying to say. So they're like huge. These are like columns. We don't have columns. All we have are footings that go around the wall. We are more in tune with what they're asking for in pass 3 and pass 4. These are what we want. Exterior with continuous footings. This is exactly what is in our drawings. They are exterior walls, and we're getting the footings for them. Detail 1 is it says this exactly. Exterior wall section. This is all we want is this right here. So the book, we were asked to follow the book. The book tells us to do the footings. Here's the footings for passes 3 and 4, continuous footings, exterior walls. And it even shows where they're referring to. So they only want this little piece of this is called a footing. I don't know how else to describe it. This is where the concrete goes. So also all we're taking off today. We're just following the book. So pass 3, we're going to jump right in. Pass 3 here asks us for continuous footings along exterior length. We're going to copy this. We're going to make our own note. Paste that in. Alright, okay. Now, I've already looked, so I'm not going to go waste your time and scroll all the way down and find it. But the length is going south to north or north to south. The width is going east to west or west to east. So when they say length, we got to look at our building. Our building's south to north is on both sides, here and here. And technically here, because this is a garage, if you notice, there's a garage here on this far eastern wing. But we have 3 different details. So the first detail is only exterior walls. Second detail is an exterior wall where it's connected with the garage slab. It's basically the same though, but I mean we're going to separate it out because it's required by the detail, I guess. And then the third one is different. The third one is a garage wall in the north, the east, and the south walls, not the west here. So we're going to leave the west alone. So detail 1, we're going to have the north wall, the west wall, and the south wall here. Detail 2 is just going to be the east wall right here. And detail 3 will have the north, the east, and the south here for the garage. That's the plan. So let's knock it out. First things first, we're going to go back to the drawing board here for pass number 3. It says quantity 2. What does quantity mean? Quantity means if you want to multiply out your takeoff. In this case, for detail 1, we're just doing the length, and the length is only one wall, so we want our quantity to be 1. We don't want to double anything. Let's leave it alone. So it's going to stay as 1. Let's see, next, long sides formed. 2, we want to say yes, 2. Reason being, forms are like the wood 2x4s you put in the ground next to where you want the concrete to be placed, and you pull the forms up after you're done. We're doing walls here. This is why I said you didn't want to do the other passes before, because they are not what you want. The ones before involve columns, where you have 4 forms. You have north, south, east, west form. In other words, they're like boxed in. They box it out completely. We don't want to box anything out. All we're doing is the 2 very long form across the ground, like on the long side of it. That's all we're dealing with here. I'm not going to overthink this, and I hope you guys don't either. So all we're going to do is run 2 long forms down the entire length of the wall that we just mentioned before. So we would put 2. I already have 2 here, so I don't need to change anything. This is where I screwed up, the height of the forms. So the height is how high up the forms are in relation to the concrete. I, for some reason, am bad at math. Maybe that's why I'm not a civil engineer and I went to be a CM major. So what they were doing here, oops, sorry, I skipped it. What they were doing here is they're looking at this detail and they're saying, okay, let's figure out how high up the forms need to be. So right here it says 6 inches. I was a dummy and I was like, oh, 6 inches. So that means half of a foot. So therefore, when they say that they wanted their height to be 0.667, I mean, that's like 2/3, right? So I guess they just add an extra little bit on top of whatever dimension they need so that you have enough height for it. If that doesn't make any sense, I'm glad it doesn't, because that was very wrong thinking. I was pretty dumb, didn't see that the whole thing is 8 inches here. So 8 inches, if you do your calculations real quick, 8 divided by 12, these are in inches of course, makes exactly what they put in, 0.66. So don't make that mistake. You guys are smarter than that. So if that's what they're putting in, we know that what we need to do for our height is make it exactly the same for whatever the height of the footing is. So we're going to go back to the drawings. So don't listen to them. Don't just take this number and run with it. No, go back to your drawing and figure out what your number is. So our number is 1 foot. You see it here? 1 foot is the height of the footing. So all we got to do is put in 1 right here, and we're done. And that's the gist of it. We're on the move now. Let's keep going. So we got the height. We got the height done. We're going to do the length next. The length is going to be how long the wall is. The wall is, according to this drawing, 36 feet. So we're going to put 36 feet in. I already have it here, but you won't. So make sure you put 36 feet in. Next, we're going to do the width. Obviously 0. I should have. Ooh, actually messed up my width over here. Did it? Yeah, I sure did. Good thing I noticed. All right, make that 0. That's a good thing. Then you want the width itself, the width of the concrete footing. You're going to go back to your drawing, go back to the detail. The width of the footing is 2 feet. So that's what we want. 2 feet for the width. We got it. And then the bar count is built in here. It says in here they want 3, number 5. So we have 3 under the count for the length. We don't have a width, so leave that alone. So yeah, they also didn't have a width here under any of these. So that's good. So we're done. That's the first one. We're going to hit the add pass. Now we're going to do the other one. The other one is the other way. So we're going to do continuous footings, exterior width now. Copy and paste. Okay. And we're going to run with that. So now we have a different situation with quantity. Now we have the north and south wall. So we're going to have to do a 2 quantity, north and south. So we're going to hit 2 here. Sides will still remain the same. The height will still remain the same. The length is now 61 feet and a half, which will be in decimals, of course. Right here, you can see it right here. That's where I'm getting that number from. The width is still 0. The width of the forms is non-existent. The width itself remains the same. The bar count remains the same. Done. All right, so we're done. The next pass, we're gonna hit the plus button here, and we're done. That's it. And you did it. So the detail one's finished. Hit the OK button. And hit the close button, and you should see down here. Okay, it's getting a little confusing, but this is the one I just did, and as you notice, the numbers are a little bit different, which is a good thing. We want it to be a little different because I screwed up on the other one. So this is the numbers you should be getting here, and it'll go all the way out, and you should have some totals in the back over there. All right, anyway, we're going to continue on. We're going to do detail number 2. Now it gets real easy. So we're just going to, it's like running over old ground now. So we're going to do the same one again. Alright, open up a new one now. So we're going to do the same, but for this one, all the dimensions for the most part are the same. The only major difference is, well, let's see. The quantity is still 1. That's good. The I should probably name it something different. Let's do that first. Continuous footing along exterior. This is a length at eastern wall. Okay, there we go. So all this should probably be the same. Height's still the same, 1 foot, because again, like I said, there's no new dimensions here, so I have to assume that it's all the same. So quantity should be 1, form size should be 2, this height should be 1, the length is 36. Again, I'm getting that from over here. This is 36 here, which means this is 36 over here. So this wall right here is 36. This would still be, what is this? Ooh, I almost forgot to hit this again. I wonder if does it do that on every pass? Like, why does it keep putting that back in there? Interesting. Alright, well, good thing I double checked all the numbers, because you don't want that in. The width should be 2, and the bar count should be 3. That makes sense. All the others are the same. And we'll hit the add pass, and we are automatically done. There should be nothing else new here. Height's fixed, so we should be good to go. Okay, and close. Going to check something real quick, make sure my original one was correct. If you want to ever review what you did wrong, I haven't figured out a way how to change it, but I know how to review it. Right click on the title of the assembly. Oh, by the way, all of this is in the assembly tab. Please make sure you're in the assembly tab when you're doing this. It makes it, I don't even know if you can do it otherwise, but you want to be in the assembly tab when you're messing with assemblies. Review assembly. Alright, let's see. Okay, good. Both of them have nothing here, which is good. Okay, so we're fine. Cancel. Close. Alright, so we're good on 2 of these now. We're going to finish up with the last one now. When I see the difference between my wrong ones down here and my correct one now. So you're saving a lot of money and you didn't make an important estimating error. That's why it's important to be accurate. All right, detail number 3, and then after that I'm going to delete the old ones. I'm going to go ahead and hit the assembly, hit this again, hit this again. There we go. So we're doing the garage wall, which is the north, east, and south one. Um, Alright, so quantity, we're going to do the length first, like always. The length on this one has changed, so just bear with me here. The length is 22 feet. This is the eastern wall. We're not doing the west because the west is already built into something we already took off. Um, 22 feet. Quantity should be 1. Side should be 2. Height should be 1. Width should be 0. You don't want that. Uh, Oops. 0. 2 is fine. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Everett, what are you doing? Details different. Okay, good thing I was in a bit of a daze there. Okay, so this is a bit of a weird one, to be honest, but from what I can tell, what I can go off of here, we're using 6 inches as its width of the footing, so I use the width will be 0.5. The bar count, honestly, there's like no way to tell what the bars are here. So I just leave the bar count as 3. I mean, we don't have any other way of knowing. Um, and the height is 1.5, so we want 1.5. So there you go. 0 here, 3 stays. The width nothing. Okay, that's right. Do we have a pass entitled? No, we don't. Let's add that in. We want a length. I just realized I don't know if I changed the title I gave that last one. If I didn't, sorry about that. But you want this to be a length, and you want to call it a garage eastern wall. Okay. And we can go ahead and add the pass. Now we're going to do the same thing again, but now for the width. Let's go ahead and title it width garage southern walls. Ooh, I screwed up that note. Hold on. There we go. Okay. There we go. All right. Now quantity becomes 2 because there are 2 walls there. This is still 2, of course. The height will remain the same. The length now changes. We are dealing with you see, notice how I'm not even going back and referencing 3-2. You can if you want. You don't really need to once you get going. Once you know what you're doing, you know how to change it. Let's see, 14 feet and a half. So total, so 14 feet and a half on both north and south. So that's 28. 14 plus 14 is 28. Then you add the zero point 0.6 or the 0.5 and 0.5 together is 29. So you're dealing with 29 feet here. Add that in. There you go. The width remains the same. Count remains the same. The height remains the same. This stays 0. That stays 0. Add the pass, and now you should be done. All 3 details. Okay, and close. And now we're going to get rid of my mistakes. Let's see. Delete. Yes. There we go. All right, and you guys are all done. So since I'm already in here, I'm gonna go ahead and do the whole kit and caboodle real quick. How long I've been recording for? 18 minutes. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up real quick and make a Word doc and put some screenshots in there of this. Let's go to my old one, and I'll just take some new ones. Let's see here. The snipping tool. There we go. And pull this up. So I see here I did a finished. So I did this here and I did that. Okay, so let's go ahead and knock that out, and we'll throw this in here, and I'll just go ahead and take a snip of this. New. We'll just go to about here. Copy. Word. Paste. There you go. Next one, example of one of the passes. Okay, so we'll go do that. Let's see, right click, review. pass number one. Oops, pass number one. There you go. Snip, new, copy, paste. I already answered this. Don't worry about this. I was just explaining what I found out that I already explained in the video. So that's everything, guys. I hope you learned something from this, and good luck. And take care.